Hello and welcome to another sizzling edition of Celebrity Hot Stuff, the show where we spotlight the hottest, most influential stars shaking things up across the country and beyond. Today, we delve deep into a bold, unfiltered word of one of Nigeria's most fearless voices. He's a watchdog, a warrior, a social media storm, and a humanitarian force. I am talking about none other than Verydarkman, or as his fans call him, VDM, or the Rattel President. He's taken on celebrities, exposed scams, gotten arrested more than once, and yet he raised millions for education and stood up for the voiceless. So, who really is Verydarkman? A troublemaker, a truth teller, or a bit of both? To help us break it all down today, I am joined by two very special guests. They are not just special, they are very beautiful. I know you want to see my guests, don't worry. First up, we have Felicity Titus, a renowned makeup artist and a beautician who has been tracking VDM's online story since day one. Welcome to the show, Mrs. Felicity. And joining us today as well is Ebere Anyebo, a media personality with deep insight into activism. Great to have you here, Ebere.
Same here, thank you.
Okay, let's start from the beginning for those just catching on VDM. His real name is Martin Vincent O'Shea. He started gaining fame in 2022 for calling out a fake beauty product and celebrity hypocrisy. But he didn't stop there. He's taking aim at corruption, injustice, and even government institution. So today I would like to speak to my guests and I want to get their opinions on him. So, Felicity, what do you think made VDM go viral and what has kept him relevant to this time?
Firstly, as you all know, Vincent O'Shea, a very dark man, is known by his controversial being, as a controversial being, quite alright. And is this person that is a social media activist. So we all know about that goes about giving justice like to people who are like most especially to the less privileged.
Okay, so that you think that's what made him go viral because he fights for oppressed people.
Another thing that made him go viral is when Davido Adeleke, David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, endorsed him. Yeah, and he was chosen by that Silverbird. He was given an award as the best male influencer. Yeah.
But I think before then he has always been on our faces in social media.
He's been there, but not like people don't really know him until then.
Okay, so Ebere, do you think his authenticity is what draws people to him, or do you think it's the drama?
Getting to know about VDM was in 2023, early 2023, when he had this saga with Jenny's Glow. At first, I thought he was overdoing, but then when I saw what he was revealing about people, I wasn't really too into it. I just like I wasn't on any side, whether I was with him or against him. But then I saw that he was trying to bring about justice. You know, some people that feel that they have money feel they can do and overdo. So for me, I think him diving to expose or help people who seemingly do not have a voice is what made him popular, I would say. Because speaking about the Jenny's Glow incident that brought him out, that made him more popular for me, that was where I knew him from. It was more like people that have used this product and are suffering behind the scene, whereas the seller comes to market and say this is what it does for you, and there are people that get this product and it's like from frying pan to fire.
Exactly.
So this is him now coming up to speak for those people, and it's more like they feel somebody's out there talking for us, we are being heard, we are seen. So I think more than the controversy, his ability to help those who are helpless is what is making him popular.
Okay, so I want to throw this question to Felicity. Do you think there was ever a moment he shifted from his main purpose?
Yeah, there was moments. That was that Femi Falana's issues, that he went to, like, invaded in their privacy. Yeah, that's when I think he overdue. Like, he went extra mile. He actually left what he was called to do other things. Yeah, there was a time he shifted.
Okay, so you mean he invaded their privacy?
Yeah, he invaded their privacy. He even said things that were not supposed to be said about them.
Speaking about privacy, you can't talk about VDM without talking about controversy. He has clashed with celebrities. He has been arrested. He even faked 180 million naira theft just to know the minds of Nigerians, according to him. So I have a question for you, my guest today. So my question is VDM crossing the line, or is this what Nigerians need? Because he has been on a lot of celebrities matter, like Yabo, Joe, Bobrisky. You can name lots of them. Do you think he's crossing the line, or do you think this is what Nigerians need? Felicity.
I think Nigeria needs someone like him, someone that is bold enough to say voice the way it is without being biased. All right. So about invading people's privacy, because it's a controversial being. Like, honestly, you invade people's privacy. Then, about that 180 million theft that happened then, even me, that actually liked him as a person because of what he does for social media, all right? So even then, me too, I was part of those that said, okay, oh, he has eaten the money, he has used the power, the influence he have to just go do away with the money, something like that. But not knowing that he was actually pulling the legs of many Nigerians just for him to know how well Nigerians meant for him.
For me, I wouldn't say, I don't know if I bought into that, because it was when it instead becoming hot that he came out to say it was actually a prank. It was
he wasn't expecting it. He wasn't expecting it to be that. Yes. He wasn't expecting it to be that. Yes. Like the Nigerian will be so interested in that money. Okay, because
so it was more like what he was doing for people. He was about to come to his own table, and then he just
table was about to turn to him. Yes.
For me, I wouldn't say, I don't know. I invading people's privacy. It depends on what you're talking about, because some issues are actually not private. So it depends on the issue on ground.
Especially when it's on social media.
Yes, especially when it's on social media, it isn't really private. So talking about him and invading people's privacy, I would say he should stick to real activism. Okay. That's having to speak about oppressed people, the less privileged, or people who do not really have anyone that is going to stand for them. And he feels, for me, the way I perceive Verydarkman to be, he feels that he can...
He's untouchable.
Yeah, he can talk about anybody. It's good not to be fearless. Let people see you like that, but like, add caution to it.
Yes.
Add caution to it. Mind what you say. Somebody said something in Nigeria that freedom of speech is guaranteed, but freedom after speech, they are not sure about that. So he should be cautious about what he says.
But do you know that he can actually, Verydarkman actually made sure he get his facts straight with evidence before coming out to say anything.
It's Nigeria. It's not about getting facts. Sorry to say, I have to use the word we are in Nigeria as it is, because you think you have the facts.
You have the evidence. Yes, he actually, honestly.
Next minute, you would see something that will overturn that thing that you think you have. Speaking, for example, where I didn't agree with him about the Falanos case is him having to call Files and say he is a homosexual. Like, it hasn't gotten to that. Say what you want to say. You don't have to libel anybody.
Yeah,
because his words were defamatory.
Yes.
If anybody was supposed to go, so imagine his supporters who believe hook, line, and sinker having to take the fact that Fowles is a homosexual. Like, you just defamed the guy.
Okay.
And he's a public figure.
Yeah, so let me just throw this, since the argument is already heating up. Okay, so how do you think he should balance freedom of speech and invading personal privacy?
Mind what you say. In as much as you're trying to expose ills or things that you think are going wrong, okay, the manner in which you present these things matter. So taking for example the Bobrisky case where he exposed that Bobrisky paid and was not in an actual cell. They gave him
a VIP section.
It was exposing corruption. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, after those things were done, who was arrested?
Yeah.
Who went behind bars for that?
Even Bobrisky had to even fly out of the country. We heard that they detained him. He actually left the country.
The Bobrisky we're talking about is nowhere to be found today. He's outside the country chilling. So mind what you say, because it will come a time that you think you've got the evidence, like I said earlier, and you don't have anything. And it will be your word against theirs. Yeah, and exactly. For somebody like him that is exposing big people, politicians, they will do anything to keep you behind bars. And once that opportunity comes, look at the Nnamdi Kanu case that have been in custody for years. One would actually ask, what did this man actually do? Or what? Countless times, court has asked that he be released, and they are still going over and over. So for me, I would say trade with caution, freedom of speech, but mind what you say, mind how you present it. Don't talk because you think it's social media, or you think you are fearless, or nobody can do you anything. Mind how you push your information. So that's why I say he should stick to actual activism. That will be better for him, and leave all the whole controversial issues.
So I want to ask, do you guys think that his fans keep pushing him more to do all of these things? Because I feel like the Rattel gang, they keep adding pressure. They don't know what is happening.
To me, my opinion, no. Verydarkman is a man of his word. Like, he is someone that is ready for what he's facing right now. I don't think anybody is influencing. I don't think anybody is pressuring him. He's actually ready for what he's saying.
So you don't think the fans?
I don't think. But I think that like 75% of it, I think he's ready for what he's getting.
Whatever that is happening.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, for me, I think the support he's having is also part of what is pushing him. Because
I think so.
If people are not supporting you, if you're not seeing that support, you would at least want to withdraw back. But then you're having that support. By the time you go to your comment section and you're saying, right on, you're doing well, you did this, we like this. Tomorrow you want to go and look for another toe to step on to say, or you want to look for another controversial issue to bring to your people so that they will say, hey, he's actually doing what he's supposed to do. So I think his fans have a role to play in what he's doing.
Beyond the fire and chaos, there is a sweet side to VDM. His humanitarian work, from launching an NGO to supporting schools to pushing NAFDAC to act on harmful products, he has made a real difference. You will agree with me on this. Yes. So, what do you make of this side of VDM?
Okay, so I'm not one that is against VDM. Like I said in the beginning, like I earlier said, he should stick to real activism. He has been impactful. His works has really impacted, because I think one of the video he did where NAFDAC had to come in to start checking for drugs. The villages somewhere in Jos where he gave water and the government had to wade in. So it's more like he's using his platform to help the less privileged. And like I said earlier, you should please stick to this. It's his humanity. It's apart from the fact that that he's visible, or people are seeing what he's doing. It's actually an important part of life, because helping those who cannot help themselves, it's you calling down blessings upon yourself. Take it or leave it, but that's the truth, because it's giving back to human or nature. Nature will in turn give back to you. He might not really understand what he's doing now, but the little God bless you, thank you for giving us this, God bless you for doing this, is going a long way. And tomorrow is like a bank where you're saving something for yourself, and tomorrow he will use it, he will cash on it. So I think he's really doing well, and he's, for those parts, the real activism he's doing in exposing corruption or helping the less privileged, I give him kudos for that, and I am really 100% in support of what he's doing.
So, Miss Felicity, he's often called voice of the voiceless. That's what a lot of people know him as. So, how do you see his role in speaking out for those affected by poor decisions of the government? For example, currently, he's staging a protest for primary school kids in government schools in Abuja, who has been out of school for 9 weeks because teachers have not been paid. So teachers can't go to school and teach students in the primary school pupils. So what do you think about this thing he does, being the voice to the voiceless?
And that's the part of him that is sweet, and that's part of him that made that made him to gain more followers from the masses. Sorry, because for him to even come into that, like a whole place like FCT, even in the States, I don't know, but even in the States, people still go to school. But here in FCT, Federal Capital Territory, 9 good weeks, teachers are not being paid. Like LEA school, all those LEA schools, they are closed for weeks now, because I have a neighbor, all the kids have been at home for like I'll be like, once I'm going to work, I'll be like, why are you not going to school? They'll be like, their school is locked, teachers are not coming. So it's until a Verydarkman came into the picture that we are seeing renovation, like we are seeing things, we are even hearing it out, because some children some parents don't even know what to do. They just feel like if my children are not going to school today, I don't even know what the government is saying. Some parents don't even know what is actually happening. They don't even know that they haven't paid teachers for weeks. So I think Verydarkman is doing a very good job there.
Gambling with the future
of
children who we say are the future leaders.
Sorry to cut you short. Do you know that section, that basic 1 to basic 6 is the most primarily, like, if anything that made you lose that particular, I don't know what you want to learn. Because I remember when we were in primary school, at least if you are dollar from primary 1 to primary 2, anything that makes you to cross to primary 3 onward, you will be so sharp, because that's the basic of education. Like, imagine they are gambling with the life of pupils, with children. Exactly, because none of these government children are in that LEA.
It's quite unfair, really, and that's why I commend his effort, because just like you said, I really don't know about this aspect of children being out of school because their teachers are not being paid, and things like this are being encouraged now. Whether they like it or not, it's there in the public space. Their atrocities, let me use that, is out there for everybody to see. So even if not for him, the news is carrying it now. It's gaining more publicity. So things like this, I am really happy he's doing stuff like this, and whether we like it or not, it is going to gain the massive interests that he's looking for, and the necessary authorities will definitely win. If not this month, at least next month, you should be sure that the children are going back to school. So for things like this, speaking out for those, because one would think all these let's say civil servants, politicians, most of their children are not in government school.
They're not in government school.
So it's more like the people being affected are the
poor masses.
And this is somebody
and Verydarkman put himself in that shoe, like to speak for them. He even wore the uniform.
It's really a commendable.
They are not supposed to pay school fees, but they still charge the pupils. They pay.
Honestly, when I went to government school, and we don't pay. Then we don't even pay. They even provide books, all the textbook, mathematics, English, and all of that.
Things have
They built library in my school. I went to St. Mark's Anglican School, Ogun State.
So think that,
like, I don't know why everything has changed like that. If not for Verydarkman, who would have known that school teachers are out of payment for like 19 weeks?
So think that these are people that are meting this harm on this present generation, benefited from this free education that we're talking about, or government paid educations and schools, and then you enjoyed it. You know the benefit of it. You know, for like a country like Nigeria, we're supposed to even be negotiating education. It's not something that we should be negotiating.
It's not even something that is supposed to be heard outside. That children are out of school for a particular reason.
Like somebody will say-
FCT, Federal Capital Territory. Now they did not pay teachers.
Like somebody will say, "Me, Nigeria never happened to."
Amen.
Because that's the worst thing.
Amen.
It's like a
Okay,
place.
so let's go on. What do you think is the future of digital activism in Nigeria? Do you think VDM has inspired a new movement? Do you think right now people will start coming out on social media to talk about oppressed people and lending their voice to the voiceless?
Beyond talking on social media, digital activism is good, yes. Of course, so many youths are on social media. The world is globalizing. Everything is now digital. But beyond talking on social media, let's put action to our words. And that is one thing I commend VDM for. So he doesn't just talk. He backs it up with action. So he didn't just call the FCTA authority out. You are seeing the protest he's staging in front of the minister's residence. If you know here, I'm go see him. That's it. So beyond digital activism, let's put action to it. I think if the youth should rise up beyond talking on social media, beyond trolling the leaders, let's put action to our words. Things would take a better turn. That's my thought. If we go beyond just speaking on social media, this happened to that. This, I'm not saying it's not important. It helps, but let's back our words with action.
So, can you share like your opinion on him being the first person to go to Benue State after the crisis that happened in Benue State? What are your thoughts?
Do you know that? Sorry to say this. Do you know that a lot of killings have been happening like for days in Benue State, and no one, even people, it's until Verydarkman went to Benue State that he was able to unravel, like, reveal some killings, some people that were burnt. Like, he actually posted a lot of videos to social media before things started, before we heard that Pastor Verydarkman went to, Benue State to see the people that are affected, give them some aids and all of that. But it's until Verydarkman stepped in before things started being in place, before we heard that even the president.
So that means you're saying
Yes,
that his influence prompted action from the government and every other person.
Yes,
Truth of the matter
100%.
is, it's more like an exposure. Like somebody will say, whether there was a plot to cover the atrocity. Because tell me why something like that happened and the media didn't cover it. It was after Verydarkman has done that. So imagine,
Even the governor
I sat
did not even
down
say
and I was
anything about
asking
it.
myself that, imagine Verydarkman didn't go there as at when he went and we saw it with our own. I was watching those gory videos and I'm like, God have mercy. Imagine he didn't go there at the time he did and was able
As
to
at now.
record those things. We wouldn't have known what happened. It would have been, thank you, would have been swept under the carpet. All you will hear is that there was a killing and the media will just give you a certain number and tell you 50 people.
Yeah.
And to think that is an IDP that was created by the Catholic Church. So those people that were burnt were actually displaced from their original settlement. And came there for safety. And they were burnt there. Imagine sleeping, you're going to bed, you're relaxed for the day, and you came and you were burnt, and they came and burnt these people in the cool of the night. Like, I saw children, and I began to ask myself, what wrong did these children do? It was really bad. And for that, when I saw that video alone, it made me to add more stars, or like say more likes to VDM. It was really commendable because it was the peak of the event. Something happened overnight, and by morning, he was already there. He was there. So it was something I
even
really
what their governor neglected.
It was really
So
something
we
I commended.
really have to say kudos to Verydarkman for pointing torchlights to the dark places in Nigeria.
Actually.
So, okay, with fame comes pressure, obviously. So what next for VDM? Do you think he'll go into politics? Will he stay in the streets, or will he do something bigger? What do you think?
To me, if VDM, Verydarkman, should come out for any political position, I think people will vote for him. Yeah, and I think he's mostly likely to go into politics. Yeah.
What about you? What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not in his mind, but I would say there is no smoke without fire. Okay. So, in as much as he's doing what he is doing, I wouldn't say from which angle, but truth of the matter is that he's doing a lot, and I commend him for that. Whether he wants to go into politics or not, I don't know. It's left for him, and if at all, they would say that Nigerian politics is a dirty game. You can't get there and want to play safe. So there are things that you need to do. For me, I would advise him, just like this man, what's his name? Ordinary President Ahmed. I would advise VDM to stick to what he is doing. You don't have to be a politician to impact lives. You don't have to be a politician to make a change. Look at what Ordinary Ahmed is doing with his humanitarian radio and TV. He's helping a lot of people. So if VDM wants to do same, if he thinks or feels this is his calling, I wouldn't advise him to go into politics. Because for you to go into politics, there are a lot of things you need to do, especially Nigerian politics, and that would actually drift him away from the purpose he thinks he's pursuing right now.
So, do you think he can continue with this space right now without being burned out or being silenced? Because you think people that he's fighting against will want to watch him keep fighting against them? What do you think?
That's a very big question, because as Nigeria is concerned, anything can happen. Anything can be bought with money. Okay. Yeah, as Nigeria is concerned now, with the level of corruption in Nigeria. But the type of person Verydarkman is, I don't think it can be silenced. Yeah.
I see you're a true fan.
Okay, what I would tell him, like I earlier said, is to trade with caution. Because the truth of the matter is, for whatever good you're doing, there are people who are looking for your downfall.
That's it.
He's doing great. Trade with caution. Try not to pry into people's privacy. You're doing the right thing, but know what you say. Know what you put out there. Know who you're accusing. I'm not trying to say there are people that are untouchable, but know how you... Yes, trade with caution. So it is better for him to trade with caution, so that when it's like they want to frame him up or something, or just a controversy they wouldn't find anything. You know that your hand, there is nowhere they can actually. But when you begin to do some things that are not so straight, it won't be far. They would catch him, or something will happen.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. So, love him or hate him, you can't ignore Verydarkman. He is very loud, he is bold, and he's forcing Nigerians to take a good look at itself. Also, the Rattel gangs will come for your neck if you try to mess with their president. Thank you to my amazing guests for this wonderful opportunity. I really enjoyed my time with you guys. And thank you, my viewers, for staying with us. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms and drop your thoughts on VDM. Is he a messiah or a problem to the society, as some people say? I am Stella Carlo, and this has been Celebrity Hot Stuff. Until next time, stay hot, stay sharp, and stay real. Bye for now.